This is Shelley Kraft coming to you live on SNNLive. We're coming to you live from the New Orleans Investment Conference 2017 in New Orleans. I have with me John Kontak from West Red Lake Gold Mines, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. I'm going to give you two symbols. It's RLG on the CSE and RLGMF in the U.S. on OTC markets. Welcome to SNNLive.
Thank you very much for having us, Shelley.
It's good to have you. Let's get started with an overview on the company, and then we'll go from there.
Well, West Red Lake Gold Mines has a gold exploration and development project in Red Lake, Ontario, which of course is the historic home of Goldcorp, and Goldcorp is our joint venture partner. The company is led by our experienced management team. We've done this before. We will explore and develop the 3,100 hectare property and then make it ready for a producing gold company, which we've done in the past, and have sold such assets to the likes of Rob McEwen and Osisko Mining, for example.
So let's talk about the history of the company, if you would.
Well, in 2014, Tom Meredith, the executive chairman, and myself as president took over the management of the company. It was a turnaround story. Of course, it was more of a bear market then. And we successfully reorganized the company in the course of 2014 and 2015. And in February of 2016, we filed a 43101 resource with the Ontario Securities Commission. It was 1.1 million ounces of 7.6 grams per ton gold, which of course is the classic type deposit for the Red Lake, Ontario gold camp that's produced about 30 million ounces over time. It's high grade, it's close to surface, and it's the type of thing that can be an economic underground gold mine.
What differentiates your company from other exploration companies?
Well, as I travel around, there's a number of things that people seem to think are important. One is that the deposit be high grade, that it be in a safe jurisdiction, and of course Ontario mining is famous as a very good jurisdiction in the worldwide resource sector. And once again, it's led by an experienced management team who's done this before. I think those are three very important things in this emerging gold market that we think has some legs ahead of us over the next number of years.
What's the value catalyst?
Well, we could certainly use a lift from the price of gold, as is quoted in the U.S. and dollars in New York. But what really is, when you take a Canadian company like ourselves, and our target in terms of selling this asset eventually is to Canadian gold miners, when you take the price of gold and match it with the exchange rate, Canadian gold producers are using their assets every day. We have a team, an M&A team in Toronto who's taken us into business development offices of these Canadian gold producers. So we're getting this asset ready for those type of companies, and I think that shows the people what we're doing right now in terms of developing the property. We announced the drill program yesterday. It'll be starting in early October of 2017. So this is an asset that people can see the end game all the way to selling it to a Canadian gold producer.
What's your backup plan?
Our backup plan is to continue to develop the two resource areas that we have at the former producing Rowan Mine and the former producing Mount Jamie Mine. And then we have sort of a blue sky potential at what we call the structural intersection, which a lot of our shareholders and investors know of, where we have two regional gold-bearing structures intersecting. And that reminds Goldcorp, our joint venture partner, of the Red Lake mine that they developed and took that company from about a $50 million gold exploration and producing company and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar company, and now the fourth largest gold producer in the world. So we have the structural intersection as a blue sky play, and our backup story is the deposits at the Rowan Mine, where we have the 7.6, 1.1 million resource that we're going to depth and expanding, and then the Mount Jamie Mine, where we drilled this summer, that could look like another Rowan type deposit where we'd have a resource estimate in time. So those are two very, very good backup value propositions, as well as the blue sky with the structural intersection.
What's your background?
Well, I'm a lawyer by training, and I do a lot of the legal work for the company. Certainly saves on invoices from law firms. But I think what the most important thing is, this is a management team that's done it before. This will be the third time that we've taken an Ontario gold exploration and development company and made it valuable to important players within the Canadian gold producing community. One of our former assets in Timmins is now the part of the McEwen mining package of properties. And another one, also in Timmins, on the east side of Timmins, a former producing open pit mine that we've sold to a Cisco Mining, which of course is Sean Rosen. So these are things that we've done before, and we think we can do it again. We think this is the best property we've had.
John, what's the rest of the team like that you're surrounded with?
Well, I mentioned Tom Meredith, our executive chairman, myself as president. We also have Ken Guy, who's our exploration manager, who was the exploration manager on these two other gold exploration and development stories that I've spoke of that we have sold. On our board is John Heslop, who's the former president of the PDAC, the large Canadian Gold Mining Association. He's also a professional geologist who has operated mines and brought them into production. Michael Dane is a former senior geologist. He's also at Goldcorp, who's now on our board, and so he knows the Red Lake Gold District very well. So both from a technical point of view, in terms of people with relationships in the past with Goldcorp, who's our joint venture partner, former senior members of the Canadian mining community like John Heslop as the president of PDAC, and then in terms of the active management team, Tom Meredith and myself and Ken Guy.
Let's get your website out there, John, for more information for our investor audience.
Our website is westredlakegold.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Kontak, West Red Lake Gold Mines, Inc. It's a publicly traded company, RLG on the CSE and RLGMF on the OTC markets in the U.S. I'm Shelley Kraft, this is SNNLive, and today we came to you live from the New Orleans Investment Conference 2017 here in New Orleans. John, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Shelley. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
My pleasure.